Hello everyone and welcome to my book channel. My name is Crystal. If you are new here and if you are not, welcome back. So for today's video, as you can probably see, I got a lot of books surrounding me. I've been wanting to make one of these recommendation videos for so long. But as you can see all the books around me, and there's even more that you can't see, I hate taking out books and then having to put them away. It is just so much effort. It's so much work. It's so time consuming. But for this video, I'm gonna do it because I've always wanted to make this video, and that is my auto buy authors. Like authors that I don't care what they make, I will read it. Like I don't even have to read what the book is about. I'm going to read it just because it's literally written by this author. So I'm very excited to get into that today because obviously these are also like my favorite authors ever. So I can't wait to talk about them and their amazing work and their amazing books and their words and their characters and their universes. So let's get into it. So the first person on this list, and this author is in my top 3 favorite authors of all freaking time, okay, is A.L. Jackson. So I first started reading A.L. Jackson, I want to say maybe like a year and a half or maybe 2 years ago, with her Redemption Hill series, and I fell in love. Like, if I've ever spoken to you about A.L. Jackson, you will know that I believe this woman is literally magical, okay? The way she writes is so beautiful, so beautifully written. Like, I literally feel entranced by her words. Like, it's like poetry, but it's not, because it's literally a romance novel with a whole plot and suspense and like hot characters. Like, but I'm just like entranced by her words because they're so beautiful. So A.L. Jackson is someone I will never stop recommending. These are 2 of her series at the moment. I really want to read her other series, but like as of right now, and these 2 series that I have read by her are some of my favorite books ever, that I know reading her other books I'm gonna be just as in love. And if you guys want to get into A.L. Jackson, the Redemption Hill series is one of my favorite series of all time. The second book, Say It's Forever, is literally one of my favorite books of all time, okay? This book is to die for. This series is a small town romance series, and it follows brothers as well as a best friend in this series that I absolutely love. It's really a found family and it's amazing. Like, I know sometimes small town romances can get a little like repetitive, but not A.L. Jackson. Not A.L. Jackson, no. Sis knows how to write those small town romances, and she knows how to keep it spicy, okay? Like, she constantly has a bit of suspense in every single one of her books, and I love suspense, especially in a small town romance. And A.L. Jackson, she's just gonna do it every single time. Next, another author who is also like one of my favorite like top 5 authors of all time is Ali Hazelwood. I have read all of her books, including her novellas, and I just love how like fun and quirky her characters are, and the romance. Oh my god, the men in these books specifically. Levi from Love on the Brain, this is my man. This is my man. Her books are just to die for. Like, I could seriously go on and on about Ali Hazelwood. And also, let me fangirl here for a moment. I had the pleasure of meeting Ali Hazelwood earlier this year, and I did have her sign every single one of my books. And Ali is just like the sweetest, funniest person ever. Like, I just love her so much. And she really writes herself in her books. Like, she's just so sweet and like bubbly, and like her characters are like exactly that way. Like, Bee is one of my favorite characters of all time. I love reading about like bubbly characters. Love Theoretically, another hit. Ali Hazelwood just knows how to make you laugh and swoon and just be so completely overhead and over heels, is it, in love with her characters in her book. So Ali Hazelwood, ladies and gentlemen. If you know me, you're probably thinking, Crystal, why didn't you start off with this author? I know, because this right here is my favorite author of all time. my number one. I've read every single one of her books, and there's like 30 of them, okay, maybe even a little bit more. And I just love this author so much. I've never hated a single one of her books. I have read authors' entire backlist before, and there were a few that I was like, this book wasn't for me. But this author, I have loved and devoured every single one of her 30 plus books. It's crazy if you really think about it, because it is honestly insane, but this author is just going to do it every time. And that's why they're my favorite author of all time, because they've also written some of my favorite book characters and book series and book duets. But that is Rena Kent. Rena Kent writes primarily, honestly, like every single one of her books, enemies to lovers. And I love enemies to lovers. That is my favorite trope of all time, and I will tell you that Rena Kent is the reason why that trope is my favorite trope of all time, because she just writes it too freaking good. And yeah, Rena Kent, everyone, like. And also, I cannot stress this enough. If you are going to start Rena Kent, please, please, please read her books in order, because you will have the best reading experience ever, because all her books in one way or another will tie in together, okay? Please read her books in order. I know 30 books can seem very intimidating, but her books are really short. Like, it goes by so quickly because her books are so short. Like, yeah, this one doesn't even reach 300 pages, okay guys? So if there's anything you do, read Rena Kent and read her books in order, because you will have the best reading experience ever, okay? Trust me on this, you guys. That is what I did. Well, actually, I actually read her Empire series first, and then I got into her reading order. And even reading the Empire series, you see characters from that series that were in Royal Elite. So it was like, once I had read Royal Elite, I was like, wow, I wish I had read the Empire series after this, because I would have known more about these characters if I had read Royal Elite first. So yeah, after I did that, I did start her reading order, and it was literally the best reading experience I've ever had in my life. Like, I constantly think about the time when I was going through her backlist and her reading order, and it was amazing. It was truly the best time. So if anyone is wondering, her reading order is on her website, okay, you guys? Just search up Rena Kent reading order and it will pop up, okay? But yeah, every single one of her books hits. Every single one of them. Also recently got my very first ever special editions, and they were, of course, Rena Kent special editions. I mean, you guys, look at this. Like, are you kidding me? They're so pretty. I love these. Also, like, another way that her book, I could honestly, like, if you guys just want me to make a Rena Kent YouTube video, I will do it. But all her books connect in some kind of way. And especially in the Legacy of God series, a lot of her duets in her series come together for that series. Like, you have Royal Elite, you have some of their kids in Legacy of God, so you have all the Truths and All the Lies duet, you have their kid in there, you have the Throne of Power duet, their kids in there, the Deception trilogy, their kids in there. Like, so many of her series and duets come together to then, you know, make Legacy of Gods. And also, like, two of her duets, Throne duet, and the All the Lies and Truths duet, they're twins. They're literally twins. Two separate duets, but they are twins. And then you have the Deception trilogy, and in the Deception trilogy, I'm pretty sure you meet, or is it in the Throne duet? Well, actually, in the Throne duet, you literally have characters from the Deception trilogy in there. But her Monster trilogy, literally you first meet them in, like, the Throne and the Deception trilogy. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy how it all ties together. So this is why I'm telling you guys, read it in that reading order. The next author is Jessa Hastings. This is the author of the Magnolia Parks series, the Magnolia Parks universe. Anything Jessa Hastings writes, I will read. I don't care what it is, I will read it because this woman, just like A.L. Jackson, has a magical way with words. Like, they're like straight up just writing like everyday people, and the words that they produce, and like just their words are so beautiful. I'm like, how are you real? Like, how are you real? Like, your mind is immaculate. Creating the type of world and universe and characters she's gonna create, and the plots and like the things that happen. It's like, I know a lot of people, some people have mixed feelings about these books because of some of the things that happen, but honestly, it's everyday things. Like the stuff that happens to these people, the hurt, the happy that they feel, like this is what a lot of people go through in their entire lives, you know? Like, Jessa's not holding anything back. She's being real. She is writing every single day people and like giving them like, I don't even know how to explain it, just like it's like the most magical experience. And I just love Jessa so much. Like, her books are so good, her writing amazing. And she's going to be coming out with a Peter Pan romance soon too, and you know I'm there. You know I'm there. Then we have Monica Murphy. Monica is one of my favorite authors ever. I will literally read everything this woman freaking writes, okay? Also one of the sweetest people ever. I had like the lovely honor of meeting her at a book signing last year, and she made me blush. Like, she was just so sweet. I love Monica, and her books are amazing. Like, every time Monica's coming out with a new book, buy, press purchase. So yeah. Also, if you have not read Monica Murphy yet and you're like, where do I start? Right here. Right here. Things I wanted to say but never did. This is her Lancaster Prep series, you guys, and Monica Murphy writes the best rich prep school trust fund ever. Okay, she writes the best like elite society people romances. Like, these books, oh my god, amazing, amazing. Okay, if you're a fan of Gossip Girl, read. All right, another one of my favorite authors ever, definitely my top 5, is Lynn Painter. I absolutely love and adore Lynn's books. Like, I will read anything she writes. I've read every single one of her books that she has published so far, from her YA romances to her adult romances. She hits every single time. Like, I have never, not once, disliked any single one of her books. And when I have read her books, I'm like, oh my god, this is my new personality. Like, this book is everything. And Lynn, she's gonna do it every time. She is going to write the cutest, most heartfelt romances ever. My favorite from her adult romances so far is The Love Wager. I read this book and I want to say it in a day because I literally couldn't put it down. It was amazing. And then out of her YA romances, I loved The Do-Over, but obviously better than the movies. Like, when will this book never not be iconic? I've read this book twice already and I love it so much, but again, The Do-Over was just as amazing. And she's coming out with a new, I think, YA romance pretty soon, and I cannot wait to get my hands on it and read it. If this woman were to literally just like publish like a one paper anything, like literally just like a page, I would read it. I would read it. If she were to like publish a 2,000 page, I would read it. Like, I would literally read anything Liz Tomford writes because she is amazing. She only has 2 books out, 3rd book coming out soon, and immediately I was like, I love this woman. Like, this woman is literally a new favorite author just from reading Mile High, and then even more in The Right Move. This woman produces masterpieces, okay? She cannot do any wrong. And if you're looking for good sports romances that are really gonna touch your heart, Liz Tomford. Mile High, The Right Move, Liz Tomford. Now, this next one is also one of the sweetest authors I've ever met. I've also had the pleasure of meeting this author at a book signing, and she's just literally one of the sweetest women I've ever met in my entire life. And I literally will read anything she produces. Like, anything she comes out with, I'm there. I'm reading it. Best believe it will be read if it hasn't been read yet. And that is Rebecca Genshak. Okay, Rebecca writes the best sports romances ever. Like, if you are ever like, oh my god, I'm really in the mood for a sports romance, but I don't know who to go to, she's right here. She's literally right here, you guys, okay? Rebecca writes like strictly sports romances. Like, she has a hockey series, she has a college hockey series, and a, like, what is it, National Hockey League, NHL. Sorry guys, can you tell I don't watch sports, but I do read about them. Series, so like, you know, they're older, they're like in professional hockey series. And then she has a college series where I think they play like different sports, like basketball. She has a basketball one strictly, and I think in the Wallflower series, I think it's like hockey and basketball, no? Or it's probably just one. But anyways, she writes amazing sports romances. And my favorite Rebecca Genshak book I actually do not own. Crazy, I know, and that is The Tip-Off. It is a basketball romance. It was so good. That is my favorite one of her of all time, but I do love every single one of her books. My favorite series by her is the Wildcat Hockey series right here. So good. Chef's kiss. I mean, as well as having, you know, sports romances, this girl gives you other tropes such as Marriage of Convenience, enemies to lovers. She has a Tudor, literally, I don't know about y'all, but I love reading Tudor romances. Tutoring the player. Tutoring the player, okay? She has it all. She literally has it all. Alright, and then we have Emily Henry. So I currently do not have my Beach Read copy, which is one of my favorite books of all time, because she's currently going around the world right now, being annotated by a couple friends. Basically, the traveling Sisterhood of Pants. What is it? The Traveling Pants. I don't know, but you guys know what I'm talking about. It's a mouthful. That's basically happening, but with books at the moment. I should be getting back Beach Read in like 2-3 months. This has been going on since January, and it is October, so it's been a while since I've been without Beach Read, but I am so excited to get her back and see all of my friends' annotations in it. But anyways, Emily Henry, I've loved every single one of her books except for Happy Place. Oh my god, don't hate me. I'm sorry, I did not like Happy Place, but I love People We Meet on Vacation. I loved Book Lovers, and I loved Beach Read. I love her books, like auto-buy. Like, I literally bought Happy Place and I read it. I just didn't really like it. So I sold it. I just didn't really like Happy Place, but a lot of people loved it. And I've also heard a lot of people didn't like it. So don't listen to me. Read it if you haven't read it yet, because you might like it, you might not. It's had a lot of mixed reviews, but her other books I absolutely love and adore. And even it's like a 1-to-3 ratio. I'm still gonna read Emily Henry just because I didn't like one of her books. Like I said, I've read authors' entire backlist where I've loved so many of their books, and also I just didn't really like any of them, and that's literally perfectly fine. Not every single book is gonna be for you, and that's fine. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, like I said, Beach Read is one of my favorite books of all time, so Emily Henry will forever buy. Then we have Lauren Asher, and I own all of Lauren's books, but they thick. And I cannot hold all those books, you guys, so I'm just gonna have to do this. Lauren Asher is one of my auto-buy authors. I own every single one of her books. I've read every single one of her books. It's hard waiting for a Lauren Asher book because you just want the next one. She's so good. She is so good. Lauren is gonna do it every single time, no doubt about that. Okay, I've loved every single one of her books. So every time she comes out with a new release, I'm there. I am there. And another author whose books I mostly own, but I will only be showing you one of them because I'm getting tired. Remember, disclaimer from the beginning of the video, taking on putting back books is one thing I strongly dislike, as well as holding a bunch of them. So Penelope Douglas. Penelope Douglas has been an auto-buy author since 2020 when I first discovered them. What was it? I think the first book I ever read from them was Bully, and then I think I read Devil's Night, and then I went back and I read the rest of their Fall Away series, and in love. Like, I love Penelope's books, their writing, everything about it, amazing. I've read the rest of their books except for Misconduct. I've not read Misconduct yet, but I'm so excited for them to keep on releasing from this series because this is the second generation series of the Fallaway series, which is literally one of my favorite books of all time, so very excited. Alright, you guys. We got two more after this one. The next one is Catherine Cowles. I really hope I said Catherine's last name right. I love Catherine's books and her writing, her books. Like, I've loved literally every single one of her books. She writes small town romances and each one is gonna hit. Like, it's literally gonna do it every single time. And if you are also looking for a new small town author and you have no idea where to go, Catherine Cowles. And you guys, forgetting one of the most important things, she writes suspense. Okay, this is not just a small town romance. No, this is a small town romance mystery. Something fishy is going on, you guys. Okay, and she's gonna figure it out. She's gonna figure it out. I love reading about small town romance mysteries so freaking much, and Catherine does it every single time. And also, like, can we just talk about her covers? Like, you're joking. You're joking. They're gorgeous. They're gorgeous. Next we have Elsie Silver. So I've only read 4 books by Elsie Silver, and that is her Chestnut Springs series, but I have my eye on getting her other books because I have never not liked one of Elsie's books. Like, this series is one of my favorite series of all time. 2 of these books, Flawless and Heartless, 2 of my favorite books of all time. Like, I normally, like, when I read a series, I'm like, oh yeah, that one was my favorite. Like, that is, like, just one was like, well, I love them all, but, like, this one is one of my favorite books of all time, you know? To have 2 favorite books of all time from the same series, hello. And not to say, Reckless and Powerless, amazing, 5 stars, ate it up, Reckless. So for these, I'm like, #1 faves. Reckless, second fave. So freaking good. Elsie's gonna do it every single time, okay? She's gonna do it every single time. And Hopeless comes out in a couple days too. And I have been waiting for Beau. So you guys, this ranking, it might just change. It might just change. But Elsie, I love her books so much. So I'm very excited to read her other books. Also, guys, I lied. We actually have 2 more, not 1 more. Anna Huang. So I only own Twisted Hate, but I have read and devoured Anna's books. Like, anything this woman writes, I will read. Like, Chef's Kiss, every single one of her books, amazing. She writes the best romances ever, like, to die for, will have me on my knees crying. Like, Anna is it. Her books are it. She wrote the Twisted series, and right now she's writing the Kings of Sin series, which is like the 7 deadly sins. Enough said. Go read it immediately. King of Greed is literally coming out soon too. I'm so excited. October is the month of releases, okay? Caught Up, Hopeless, and King of Greed. Nobody asked me to hang out because I'm busy. Alright, last but not least, actually not last because there's so many more, but you guys, I'm thirsty. Do you guys hear the like I'm getting dehydrated, like my voice needs to stop talking. Yeah, so last but not least for this video, maybe I'll make a part 2 one day, is Tara DeWitt, the author of Funny Feelings and The Co-op. I love Tara. Her books are so freaking good. They're such feel-good romances. Like, Tara, like, I will literally read anything this woman writes. Like, legitimately anything. And The Co-op and Funny Feelings are some of my favorite romances ever. They're so freaking cute. Tara DeWitt, you guys, amazing. Like, if you ever need like a feel-good romance, read. She also has another book called Rebound, read. But anyways, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you had a great time. I hope you got some recommendations out of this list. If you didn't, I'm just joking. But if you share some of these favorite authors as well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Which is your favorite book of these authors? Oh, new video idea. But yeah, anyway, so I'll do a part 2 soon. Yeah. Anyways, you guys, this was very fun. I love talking about my favorite authors, and if you haven't read some of these authors yet, please go ahead and do so because they're amazing. Yeah, this was really fun to make, so thank you guys for watching, and yeah, have a good rest of your week.